The year was 1972, and Hong Kong was buzzing with excitement. Thousands of martial arts fans gathered inside a packed arena, expecting to witness demonstrations from some of Asia's most respected fighters and instructors. Among the invited guests was Bruce Lee, whose reputation had already spread far beyond movie theaters. People admired him not only for his incredible speed and skill, but also for the fresh ideas he brought to the world of martial arts. Not everyone in the building, however, shared that admiration. One of the event's most accomplished karate champions watched quietly from backstage. She had built her career through years of relentless training, discipline, and tournament victories. Across dozens of professional matches, she had never tasted defeat. Her aggressive fighting style and fearless attitude had earned her respect wherever she competed. Unlike many spectators, she wasn't impressed by celebrity status. To her, real martial artists proved themselves through competition, not through public attention. She believed championships mattered more than popularity, and years spent inside demanding dojos carried greater value than applause from audiences. A's. Bruce Lee greeted fans outside the venue, signing autographs and speaking kindly with children and families. She observed from a distance. "So that's the famous Bruce Lee," she quietly remarked. One of her students nodded with excitement. "Everyone says he's unbelievably fast." She gave a small smile. "Speed alone doesn't define a martial artist." Her words reflected years of traditional training. In her view, patience, discipline, and endurance separated true fighters from performers. Meanwhile, Bruce continued welcoming everyone with the same calm, respectful attitude. He wasn't preparing for a contest. His purpose that evening was simply to demonstrate principles that had shaped his philosophy: efficiency, timing, and control. When the demonstrations finally began, the audience watched a variety of impressive performances. Masters from different martial arts disciplines showcased powerful strikes, precise techniques, and remarkable displays of skill. Wooden boards were broken, concrete blocks shattered, and every performance earned enthusiastic applause. Then Bruce Lee's name echoed throughout the arena. The crowd immediately erupted. He walked onto the floor without dramatic music or elaborate introductions. Wearing a simple black training uniform, he greeted every instructor with a respectful bow before beginning his presentation. Instead of focusing only on power, Bruce explained that true martial arts required balance between speed, precision, and self-control. He demonstrated efficient movement rather than unnecessary force, emphasizing that technique should always serve a purpose. His calm confidence captured the audience's attention. Most spectators responded with loud applause. One person remained seated. The karate champion watched silently, her expression unchanged. As the applause filled the arena, she slowly stood and walked toward the center of the floor. The atmosphere shifted instantly. Conversations stopped. Officials exchanged uncertain looks as cameras turned toward the unexpected moment. Taking a microphone, she addressed the audience. "So, this is what everyone came to see?" The room fell completely silent. Bruce turned toward her with the same composed expression he had maintained throughout the evening. Without raising his voice, he simply waited for her to continue. She questioned whether demonstrations like these truly represented martial arts, or whether they had become entertainment designed for crowds. Many spectators looked uncomfortable. Rather than responding emotionally, Bruce answered in a calm and respectful tone. Every martial art has its own way of expressing discipline and skill. His measured response surprised many people watching. Instead of escalating the situation, he chose courtesy over confrontation. But it was clear that the discussion was far from over. The atmosphere inside the arena grew increasingly tense. The karate champion took another step forward and spoke loudly enough for everyone to hear. "So this is the legendary master people admire? A man who refuses to face a challenge?" Her words stirred the audience. Some spectators cheered, while others watched in uncomfortable silence. Bruce Lee remained composed. He answered without raising his voice. "I don't believe every challenge deserves a fight. Sometimes the greatest discipline is knowing when not to use force. Instead of calming the situation, his response only fueled her determination. She turned toward the audience. If he walks away now, let everyone remember this moment. Camera flashes lit up the arena. Reporters hurried closer, sensing that something unexpected might unfold. Bruce paused for a moment. Then he quietly removed his training jacket, folded it neatly, and placed it beside the mat. Looking directly at his opponent, he said calmly, "If we do this, I hope we both leave having learned something." The noise inside the arena faded. The excitement was replaced by complete silence. Both fighters stepped onto the training mat. The referee reminded them that this was meant to be a controlled exhibition, not a contest driven by anger or pride. Bruce acknowledged the instructions with a respectful nod. His opponent remained focused, saying nothing. At the referee's request, Bruce bowed deeply as a sign of respect. She returned only a brief gesture before settling into her fighting stance. Just before the signal to begin, Bruce raised one hand. "We can still choose not to continue." She smiled confidently. "Or perhaps you're searching for another excuse." Bruce shook his head. "I simply believe proving who's stronger rarely makes either person wiser." His words drew mixed reactions from the audience. Some applauded his restraint. Others hoped to see action. She stepped closer. "Do you think you're better than me?" Bruce answered immediately. "No. Every martial artist remains a student for life." That sentence clearly frustrated her. "I've spent years proving myself." "And learning never ends," Bruce replied. "The moment we think we've mastered everything is the moment growth stops." The referee finally gave the signal. The exhibition began. Without hesitation, she launched the first attack. A powerful spinning kick sliced through the air toward Bruce's head. Instead of meeting force with force, Bruce shifted his body just enough for the strike to miss. The audience gasped. She followed with another combination. Then another. And another. Each attack arrived with remarkable speed and precision. Bruce answered differently. He didn't rush forward. He didn't throw heavy punches. Instead, he observed. Every movement, every shift of balance, every change in breathing became part of the lesson he was quietly studying. As the exchange continued, spectators began whispering among themselves. "Why isn't he attacking? What is he waiting for?" An elderly martial arts instructor sitting near the front smiled quietly. "He's studying," he whispered. "She's trying to win. He's trying to understand." Minutes passed. The pace became faster. Her combinations grew more aggressive as frustration slowly replaced patience. One powerful kick finally connected with Bruce's leg. The impact echoed across the arena. For the first time, he took a small step back. She smiled confidently. "So I finally reached you." Bruce nodded respectfully. "That was excellent timing." She frowned. "Stop complimenting me." "I'm appreciating good technique," Bruce replied. Every exchange revealed something new. The harder she pushed, the calmer he appeared. Instead of allowing emotion to dictate his movements, Bruce relied on patience, positioning, and timing. Gradually, the difference became visible. Her breathing grew heavier. Her shoulders tightened. Tiny signs of fatigue began to appear. Bruce noticed but didn't celebrate. Quietly, so only she could hear, he said, "Right now, you're no longer fighting me." She looked at him with determination. "I'm fighting to win," Bruce answered softly. "You're fighting your emotions." Those words landed harder than any strike. For the first time, she stepped back to collect herself. The audience sensed the shift. They were no longer watching two martial artists competing. They were witnessing two completely different philosophies. One believed victory came through overpowering an opponent. The other believed true mastery came from understanding both yourself and the person standing in front of you. She tightened her stance once again. This time, her expression showed complete determination. Bruce noticed immediately. His relaxed posture became more focused. Dot. Without saying another word, he quietly prepared himself. Dot. For the first time that evening, he was ready to move forward. Dot. The referee took one cautious step closer. If either participant feels the demonstration has become unsafe, I'll end it immediately. Neither martial artist responded. Dot. Their attention remained fixed on each other. Dot. For the first time since the exhibition had begun, Bruce lifted both hands into a balanced fighting stance. Dot. There was no display of aggression. Dot. No dramatic pose. Dot. Only quiet readiness. Dot. The audience immediately sensed the change. A ripple of excitement spread through the arena. So now it begins. Across the mat, his opponent smiled with confidence. I was wondering when you'd finally decide to engage, Bruce answered calmly. I've been paying attention, she frowned. To what? To your timing, your rhythm, the way you shift your weight before every attack. His words caught her off guard. Dot. Before she could reply, she launched forward with her fastest combination of the entire exhibition. Dot. The sequence came with incredible speed, a spinning kick, a driving punch, a powerful knee strike. Dot. The attacks flowed together almost too quickly for many spectators to follow. Dot. This time Bruce moved differently. Dot. Instead of retreating, he stepped forward. Dot. The distance disappeared in an instant. Dot. Every attack missed by the smallest possible margin. Dot. For a brief moment, she lost her balance. Dot. Surprise flashed across her face. Dot. No opponent had ever entered that space so effortlessly. Dot. Bruce quietly stepped away again, without throwing a finishing strike. Dot. The crowd erupted. Dot. Some people cheered. Dot. Others simply stared, trying to understand what they had just witnessed. Dot. As the exhibition continued, frustration slowly replaced her patience. Dot. Each attack became more forceful. Dot. Each movement carried more emotion than precision. Dot. Bruce remained composed. Dot. He allowed her momentum to work against itself instead of meeting strength with strength. Dot. Near the front row, an elderly martial arts instructor smiled at his grandson. Remember this, he whispered. Patience can be stronger than power. The words disappeared beneath the roar of the audience. Dot. She attacked once more with everything she had left. Dot. Bruce shifted only slightly. Dot. Her own momentum carried her past him. Dot. She recovered quickly, but her breathing had become heavy. Dot. Bruce looked at her with genuine respect. You don't have to prove your worth. She shook her head. I'm not finished. Bruce replied softly. I never believed you were weak. She looked confused. Then what do you believe? I believe anger makes even the strongest fighter lose sight of what truly matters. The statement landed harder than any strike. Dot. Still unwilling to stop, she gathered every ounce of determination for one final attack. Dot. The arena held its breath. Dot. Bruce watched carefully. Dot. He had spent the entire demonstration observing her movement. Dot. When she committed to the final technique, he stepped in with perfect timing. Dot. His fist stopped only inches from its target. Dot. He never made contact. Dot. He didn't need to. Dot. The moment froze. Dot. She understood exactly what had happened. Dot. With a slightly different choice, the exchange could have ended very differently. Dot. Bruce slowly lowered his hand. There is no shame in learning. For several seconds, neither martial artist spoke. Dot. The silence carried more meaning than the entire confrontation. Dot. Then a voice rang out from the crowd. Finish it. Another followed. Show everyone who's the better fighter. Soon, hundreds of spectators were shouting the same thing. Dot. The arena echoed with demands for a dramatic ending. Dot. Bruce slowly turned toward the audience. Dot. He didn't look proud. Dot. He didn't look excited. Dot. He looked disappointed. Dot. After waiting for the crowd to quiet down, he spoke clearly enough for everyone to hear. Martial arts were never created to satisfy someone's desire to watch another person lose. The arena became silent once again. Dot. He continued. If all we learn is how to defeat people, we've missed the real lesson. He turned back toward his opponent and offered a respectful bow. Dot. She hesitated for a moment. then returned the bow with genuine respect. The audience, which had arrived hoping to witness a battle, left having witnessed something far more meaningful. Not the victory of one fighter over another, but the victory of discipline over ego, patience over anger, and respect over pride. The arena remained completely still. Bruce didn't celebrate. He didn't raise his arms or acknowledge the cheers. Instead, he quietly lifted one hand, asking the crowd for silence. Gradually, the noise faded. Even the photographers lowered their cameras. When the hall became quiet, Bruce looked around the audience before speaking. You came here expecting to witness martial arts. He paused for a moment. But somewhere along the way, many of you began hoping to see someone humiliated. His calm words settled over the arena. There is an important difference between proving skill and seeking revenge. Nobody spoke. The audience listened. Bruce turned back toward his opponent. She stood only a few steps away, exhausted from both the physical exchange and the emotions that had driven it. Without hesitation, Bruce walked toward her. There was no pride in his expression. No sign of triumph. He simply extended his hand. For a brief moment, she stared at it in disbelief. You'd still help me? She asked quietly. Bruce smiled. If defeating you had been my goal, this would have ended much earlier. He helped her regain her balance before taking a respectful step back. The silence inside the arena became even more powerful. Bruce spoke once more. The hardest battle isn't against another person. He gently touched his chest. It's the one that takes place within ourselves. His opponent lowered her eyes. Years of victories had taught her how to overcome challengers. But she suddenly realized she had spent far less time confronting her own pride. Bruce continued. Talent can make someone strong. Character determines how that strength is used. The words reached everyone in the building. There was no applause. Only thoughtful silence. After another pause, Bruce added, Never use your ability to embarrass someone else. Real confidence doesn't need an audience. His opponent slowly nodded. For the first time that evening, she understood that true respect couldn't be demanded. It had to be earned. With genuine humility, she bowed deeply. Bruce immediately returned the bow with equal respect. The audience rose to its feet. This time, the applause wasn't for flashy techniques or dramatic moments. It was for sportsmanship. For discipline. For humility. The referee stepped between them with a smile. There is nothing left to prove. The exhibition was over. Neither competitor had chased victory. Both had gained something more valuable. As people left the arena, reporters gathered around Bruce. One journalist asked, You had opportunities to end the match. Why didn't you? Bruce answered calmly. A victory achieved by hurting someone's pride isn't the kind of victory I'm looking for. Another reporter asked, Weren't you offended by everything that was said to you? Bruce smiled. If someone else's anger controls your actions, they've already taken control of the situation. The reporters quickly wrote down every word. Later that evening, his opponent sat quietly by herself, replaying the events in her mind. She realized the greatest lesson hadn't come from technique. It had come from restraint. She understood that real mastery wasn't measured by how many opponents someone could defeat. It was measured by how much wisdom they carried into every challenge. In the months that followed, she began teaching her students differently. Before practicing punches or kicks, every class started with a simple reminder. Respect comes before skill. Whenever a student asked why that lesson mattered so much, she would simply smile. Because the strongest martial artist isn't always the one who can win a fight. It's the one who knows when fighting is no longer necessary. And that became the lesson people remembered, not because of who appeared stronger, but because they witnessed the power of patience, humility, and self-control. Sometimes the greatest victory isn't defeating another person. It's refusing to let anger defeat you.